And welcome back here to Versus Live. I am Ross Merriam.
I'm Todd Anderson.
We got Rob in the booth. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
And as always, we are brought to you by Star City Games and Carnox Chairs. Make sure you check out these chairs at carnox.com/SCG. They are great. And lean back.
Oh, my God. You don't have to do it every time.
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, I actually had a really good idea, and I'm going to talk to Carnox and see if they like this idea.
Yeah.
But I want to come up with fake slogans. Like, sit your butt down. Or, stuff like that. Where we just come up with, like, Carnox chairs. We like to be sat on. Just like really weird stuff.
Sit Your Butt There is the name of one of the hammock stores in the hammock district of Cypress Creek, which is upstate somewhere.
The fact that you just said the hammock district lets me know that you're white.
It's an episode of The Simpsons. It's called You Only Move Twice. Season 6. No.
Can we move?
Albert Brooks guest stars.
Come on. Magic.
Okay.
A lot of people want to see. Look, what just happened to me, I'm furious right now. I just got 4-0'd playing the best modern deck, most winningest modern deck in history or whatever. Splinter Twin got 4-0'd by a deck that has literally 12 new cards in it, has changed 5 cards since its initial iteration, and I'm mad. You already won the marbles. You know what? Here we go. You get them. Here you go. I wasn't actually going to throw them.
I would hope not.
It is glass. Actual glass. You win. Feels good, doesn't it?
I feel complete again.
Yeah. Look, I actually had a sneaking suspicion that I was going to get clowned on today, which is kind of why I really want to do this, because I think that the Sagak deck, I got so frustrated yesterday when I was playing against it. I got killed on turn 2, one game when I had like a really good Phoenix hand. I got killed on turn 3 when I like double surgicaled my opponent, and I got killed on turn 4 a lot when I had a lot of interaction and very good draws featuring like Thing in the Ice and stuff. This Sagak deck is busted. It's broken.
Yeah.
The card Altered Dementia messed up.
But it is busted in a decidedly proactive, unfair, non-interactive way.
Yes.
And the 2 decks that we've pitted it against are 2 very interactive decks that were banned because their ability to interact while being flexible, and Splinter Twin being able to kill you on turn 4 and putting you under this, hanging you or sitting you under the sword of Damocles, where you're never really safe, don't know if you're safe, was too powerful. But that's a very different kind of power than what is in the Bridgevine deck. But this last one we're playing against is that same kind of raw, like, I'm just going to kill you. And what little interaction you have is going to be useless because I have Chalice of the Void and Thought-Knot Seer.
Yeah, and that was the reason why Colorless Eldrazi was heralded as one of the most degenerate decks of all time. And I think that it's showing at, I believe it was Pro Tour Seattle, or...
The Eldrazi Pro Tour was in Atlanta.
Atlanta?
It's in Atlanta.
The Pro Tour that this deck basically came out of was one of the most disgusting Pro Tours of all time, dominated by one specific type of strategy. There were roughly, I believe, I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, I think 12% of the field in day 1 was Eldrazi. And in day 2 and in the top 8, it was astronomical. Like, the conversion rates were unbelievable. Why are you bug-eyeing me right now?
What?
Are you wrapped in listening to me? Because you had some crazy eyes going on.
I was doing math in my head.
Oh, that's his math eyes. Okay. You just kind of glaze over. You're just like, what did I eat for lunch today? I don't remember.
I had Waffle House like we do every day.
We do need every damn day. All right. So this Eldrazi deck, even though it didn't actually win the tournament, it was actually bested by JC Tao's blue-red version featuring Drowner of Secrets, an Eldrazi Obligator, and a number of other colored Eldrazi as opposed to colorless. I actually think that deck that won was worse against the field than this colorless version. If I'm not mistaken, there were 3 colorless versions in the top 8. Chalice of the Void was nuts against the majority of the format. It just so happened to be bad against the other Eldrazi decks. And so as the format progressed after this tournament, people realized, well, Eldrazi's the number one threat, and you don't really even need Chalice of the Void if you just go really fast out of the gates with Ayavugan and Eldrazi Temple. And so it kind of turned into this arms race with the Eldrazi mirrors, where you just tried to find the best ones, and eventually everyone settled on Matter Reshaper and Drowner of Secrets.
I mean, Eldrazi Displacer.
What'd I say?
And Drowner of Hope.
Drowner of Hope and Eldrazi Displacer.
Yeah, you said Matter Reshaper, which was not good.
Yeah, I mean, Matter Reshaper's also not good. Yeah, you're right.
There were also green-red lists that played Obligator and Lightning Bolt. There were bigger green-red lists that went all the way to World Breaker. A few different approaches to the mirror. The Azorius list ended up being the most successful, but the Eldrazi deck, if you weren't around for it, dominated Modern like no other. Its numbers were absurd. It was 35 to 40% of basically every metagame after that Pro Tour until it got banned. We ran at the Season 1 Invitational last year a no-ban list Modern Open, and Eldrazi was a third of the field in that tournament, partly because it was pretty easy to build and an obvious deck, but it was also just one of the most powerful decks as well.
Yeah, I think Ayavugan is just such an insane mana generator for these actually efficient, powerful creatures. Thought-Knot's here has built-in disruption. You have the clock with Eldrazi's or Reality Smasher and Eldrazi Mimic. Even something as innocuous as Endless One can get really big on turn 2, just a 4/4 on turn 2, when you combine that with like maybe a reasonably explosive start featuring 1 or 2 Eldrazi Mimics. Like, that's a huge clock on turn 2 that your opponent might not be able to contend with. But the colorless version also backs that up with those Chalice of the Voids, which can lock out a lot of the interaction points, as well as potentially put your opponent into a spot where they just can't function.
Yeah, against the Eldrazi decks were so fast and consistent and had some disruption with Thought-Knot Seer and then Creature Lens that you weren't that scared of traditionally interactive decks, but you were scared of things like Infect and Storm and things that could go under you, and the Chalice of the Voids really helped out in matchups like that. In that Pro Tour, I played Revolt Zoo with Burning Tree Emissary and Reckless Bushwhacker, just a deck that was trying to turn 3 people. And it was a reasonable deck. But Chalice would be really good against my 21 drop deck.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially, they also play Simian Spirit Guide to ramp it out on 1, as well as just get ahead of schedule with turn 2 Reality Smasher sometimes.
Lets you turn 2 kill them.
Yeah.
Ayavugan, triple Mimic. Next turn, Eldrazi Temple, pitch SSG, play Reality Smasher, 20 you.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, well, without further ado, let's recap real quick. First match, played against Jeskai Stoneforge Mystic, 3-1 for the Hagak deck. Pretty reasonable results. I won 1 post-board game out of the 2 we played. Splinter Twin, 4-0 in the Hagak's favor. Game 1 didn't combo you. Game 2, you had interaction for combo / killed me too fast when I had combo on turn 4 both games.
Yeah, one game I killed you turn 3 when you had 3 mana up and you were about to play the creature. The other game you had the combo, but I had the Lightning Axe post-board, and it was just, it didn't look good.
All right, and now we see if this most busted deck, arguably of all time, is any good against Hagak. I think I got a chance. And I think this hand is good enough to do it.
This is definitely a keep.
All right, turn 1 Chalice of the Void, get wrecked.
I'm dead.
Noob. Noob. See if you can fight through that.
My hand was good against basically everything else, but
Rats.
now I do nothing. Welcome to Modern.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to play a Matter Reshaper. Your turn.
Yep.
Play an Altar. I want to know how boned I was if Ross was on the play this game. If he just gets to looting on 1 and pitch Bloodghast, Vengevine, or whatever, and then he actually just goes turn 2 Altar, get back Bloodghast, turn 3, gets 2 spells countered, but still brings back Vengevine or something. How close am I?
I need a black card to throw away. I'm going to go to 16, get Shockland Basic.
You didn't want to chump check me? You got respect for me now?
You can go.
You really want to fetch up a basic here?
I have a Ghost Border. I didn't even look at what your lands do.
They're not that relevant.
I'm at 14. I should have fetched on end step.
You did. Whatever. 16. Raw's at 16. He fetched end step.
I got to put things in my graveyard, so then if I can maybe play a Hagak if I draw. Oh. Scratch that.
Whoop, whoop. Record scratch. Yep, that's me. getting my hand torn apart. Oh yeah, you can keep all the 1-mana spells. I'm gonna attack for 3.
I'm at 13.
Here you go. Remember when Ross was chirping last game because he was winning a bunch? That's me right now.
You're up.
Double Ghost Quarter you.
Okay, I'm dead.
Put you to 6. You get 1 swamp. Gonna play an Eldrazi Mimic.
Next game.
Sorry. One more pre-board?
Yeah. I'm going to have to do some sideboarding in this matchup.
I know!
That hardly seems fair. What do you got over here?
I got 4 Leyline of the Void. I'm not playing. I had like 3 Relic of Progenitus, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to give myself like a safety valve at the end of the day, just in case I have a bad one against Hagak. But we've already established that Relic of Progenitus is not remotely close to good enough against the Hagak deck. So, Leyline it was. I figured Leyline's pretty common in the like Colorless Eldrazi decks and Legacy, so. But as far as the rest of the list, I'm pretty sure it's perfect. I might have cut 1 card to get the 4th Leyline when there was only like 3 relics, maybe. But Pith Needle might be okay as well, just naming Altar.
Yeah. Could also name Insolent Neonate.
Sure.
Or just Bloodstained Mire to help against Bloodghast.
Oh man, this hand is like actual great, but not in this matchup.
This hand is not good at all, but it doesn't get destroyed by Chalice.
I'll let you decide. I'm probably keeping mine though. All right, I'm keeping mine.
The fact that it doesn't get obliterated by Chalice, I'm just going to get run over by creatures, but yeah, turn 2 Mimic is not what I wanted to see.
Turn 1 Mimic, sir.
Yeah. You know what I meant.
All right, let's do Ivugan off the top. Get off the top. Let me go nuts.
Okay, I'm at 19.
Yep.
I will go to 16 and play an Altar.
Mm-hmm.
You can go.
Trigger. Oh, your hand is unplayable. What? Okay, take your... it's either Hagak or Bridge. I think it's Hagak. Because if he draws like Neonate or whatever, that's like... Neonate and Faithlessly are like best case scenarios. 8 for 4.
I'm at 12.
3. Okay.
Oh, 3.
That was also insanely good. That's... Okay. Get 2 bridges. Just two bridges. Just 2 bridges.
Mill myself for 4 and get 2 zombies.
What the hell? You had nothing.
Well, I once again have nothing.
Well, you haven't played a land yet. You can mill 4 more, maybe hit a Bloodghast, get more zombies, do that. Look, you are in a bind. If I were you, I would go for it. I would not play your land first. But, you know, do you, baby.
Mill 2.
Oh, there's a Hagak.
So close.
Yeah. If you just had hit that first, like...
Pass.
Okay. Draw. You're 12?
Yep. Smashing me.
Turn 3 killed him.
Mill 2.
Sure.
Oh, I didn't hit any Narcomoebas.
Well, you could actually hit a Bloodghast, fetch, got it back, and then made 2 blockers,
Yep.
which would have been very, very saddening. 14 U on turn 3.
That probably would have cost you the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have to go for it. But, like,
Yeah.
I was considering just, like, playing this, attacking, and then if you block, whatever, and then I can just dismember my own Mimic. But, and then that way it gets the 2 bridges out of your grave.
Yeah, if I just hit a Bloodghast, you're probably dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more pre-board?
Now let's sideboard.
I'm handling you. I'm handling you pre-board. Just pointing that out. This deck. I'm I'm glad there are no like Eldrazi apologists, right?
Yeah.
Like there are
I work with one.
Oh, friggin' Travis
Oh, come on.
or Nick,
Yeah,
Travis loves Eldrazi, yeah.
right? But was he like it's too good or it's not too good? It should definitely be fine.
Oh, I don't know. I just know he loves Eldrazi.
Oh, sure. He always struck me as the kind of guy who likes fair Eldrazi, though. All right, I got a couple things. I got some stuff. Should I bring in your counter target sorcery spell? Probably not, right? All right, what you got for me, Rob? A lot of people laughing with me, or are they all mad at me for clowning on Ross? He already won the marbles. Don't feel bad for him.
You know, they're finally like, well, we know I should never be unbanned. So.
I mean, the fact that it won the no ban list Modern Open, you can play Middle Misstep and Dark Depths and Hypergenesis. You can play Blazing Shoal Blighted Agent, where you just always combo kill your opponent on turn 3 with Dig Through Time. Every game, turn 3, kill you. Colorless Eldrazi. That's the one. All right.
Okay.
I got 6 coming in. I'm getting rid of.
I got 9 coming in.
I'm not sure about Skites and Bombs. I'm going to double check real quick here.
We got too many cards to bring in, so we can't leave in Dark Blast. Our Vengevines are the worst creature. I think the next worst creature in this matchup is Gravecrawler because it's vulnerable to Chalice. And then I generally like trimming one Hogak in the post-board games. You don't need to see a ton of them. It is pretty good in this matchup just because an 8/8 is so big. But we got to bring in a bunch of answers. We need answers to Chalice, answers to Leyline, a couple Lightning Axes.
I think I'm actually going to leave in Spellskite to help me protect. I can't use Spellskite to redirect a Wismare from Leyline to Spellskite or anything like that. But we can maybe protect our creatures from Lightning Axe, which I don't hate.
And you protect your Chalices and Leylines from my removal. I think Spellskite's great.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to board out Dismember and Ratchet Bomb. Pith and Needle is just going to be naming Altar of Dementia, but...
Can you Carrion Feeder and Neonate?
Yeah, I mean, there are things to name, but for the most part, that's why I want to bring it in.
Yeah.
All right, what you got for me?
Why didn't we test Deathrite Shaman today?
Because I'm not the Deathrite Shaman guy, okay? That guy moved to Seattle, okay?
We could only pick 3 things. You know, we couldn't pick everything. I think doing Eldrazi is important because Eldrazi is like the most broken deck, and then Twin and Stoneforge Mystic are the 2 that everybody talks about maybe unbanning.
Yeah.
So that was our reasoning.
Yeah, and honestly, we proved today, beyond a shadow of a doubt, we can unban both.
We proved nothing. Proved nothing.
We proved that the Hogak deck is busted, but it's still not busted as Colorless Eldrazi. All right. You're on the play.
Yep. Okay. Okay, we got good hand. Can't beat a Leyline. Keep.
Don't have Leyline.
Yes. Step 1.
Mulligan. I had turn 1 Chalice, but only 1 land and a Spirit Guide, and it wasn't a 2-mana land. And if you just have Ingenture, I don't do anything and die. If I don't draw any lands, I don't do anything and die.
Yeah. The
on the play with Chalice, I think I keep it just because it locks down looting and stuff. But you can just get under it with your turn 1 play. All right.
So what is it about this Eldrazi deck that makes it so busted?
Cheap / free mana. Lands that produce 2 mana. So effectively, you get to play with both Ancient Tomb and City of Traders with very little actual drawback because the cards you're casting are legitimately great. You know, like the restriction's supposed to be that you can only use that mana to cast Eldrazi cards, but all the Eldrazi are just busted, except for Endless One, but he's still giant.
It is an aggressive deck that kills between turns 3 and 4 when unmolested. It has a lot of disruption, including really powerful disruption in Chalice of the Void that can shut down certain decks, in particular decks that go underneath it, and Thought-Knot Seer. Against removal spells, it has Reality Smasher, Thought-Knot Seer, which can both be 2-for-1s, and a bunch of creature lands. Its mana base is fairly consistent as long as you just mulligan for the 2-mana lands. And because it's ostensibly a fair deck, like it's an aggro deck, its fail rate is still just play some creatures and attack you. Fail rate for a deck like this might just produce nothing, or like have a Gravecrawler in play.
Yeah.
Fail rate for that deck is like I have Matter Reshaper and a 2/1 and a Mimic, and I'm still attacking you for 5. So it has a pretty high floor while also having an incredible ceiling.
All right, I mulliganed 6. I bottomed a land. I have a reasonable hand, but I do not have Leyline, so you may begin. I'm going to get crushed this game, I'm sure.
We get to do things. We get to do things.
I think this hand's actually worse than a turn 1 Chalice, but I don't think many 5s are better. And I could just like play the game where I just mulligan to Leyline, but I'd rather just like see if my decent 6-card Eldrazi hand can do anything.
Yeah. I would like to see like a hand where you start with Leyline, I start without an answer to it, but you have basically nothing to follow it up except your draw steps. But we'll start with the looting.
Don't worry, there's a Leyline on top of my deck.
That is usually how it works.
It's one of the reasons why Leyline's so... Eh.
Discard Bloodghast, Blood Crypt, and pass the turn.
Are you kidding me? I was saying it as a joke. I bought him to Mutavault. Eldrazi, Mimic. If this was Relic of Progenitus, I still think it would be bad, though. Oh my god. Sure.
Bloodstained Mire, return Bloodghast. Sack to Carrion Feeder, so it gets 1 counter. Crack, fetch. I'm going to shock again, so I'm at 14.
Woo,
And
Cotton Woods.
play Neonate.
Alright.
And then pass the turn.
Also, this deck was a super aggressive deck that just never dealt itself damage. So, like, a lot of aggro decks dealt themselves damage, which was kind of annoying. Let's go Blink Moth, Pith and Needle.
I will sacrifice the Bloodghast to Carrion Feeder. And I think Todd is still going to name Carrion Feeder here, so I don't think I need to sack the Neonate. If he names Neonate, I'm pretty happy, because this Carrion Feeder is just going to get really big. So I'm just going to let the Needle resolve.
Alright, I will name Carrion Feeder. Oh, I guess I wouldn't mind trading with the Neonate here. Sure.
Oh, I probably should have attacked with this last turn, right?
I don't know. It was
No, I just cast it, because I had looting turn 1. That's why I didn't attack.
Oh, sure. Attack. Maybe the upside is just I get bigger things. Yeah, go.
Okay.
This is an exile because it's in my hand, and I can't do anything. Actually, I can draw Urborg.
Let's discard Gravecrawler, draw a card.
Sure. Missed 2 points, pretty sure.
What?
I missed 2 points.
Sure. Play Gravecrawler.
Sure.
Play Neonate.
No Vengevine here is pretty nice for me.
Yeah, I didn't really find any of the real big payoffs. Get this back and attack for 3.
Alright, 17.
Pass the turn. I think I'm going to lose this game.
Ross, what's your life total?
I'm at
He's
14.
at 14. I'm at 17. Alright, I'll play a Mutavault and play Matter Shaper. Turn these into 3/2s. Let's swing for 6.
I think if Todd had one of his big, I guess you could have the 5 Smasher in hand for next turn, but I need to find something, so I'm probably pitching this. So let's block, discard Carrion Feeder, and take 3.
Okay, you're at 11.
Yep.
Your turn. And now we have Reshaper, which can trade with the Feeder and get me a card. Trying to dig for one of those big Eldrazi. Protect my life total a little bit, just in case. I don't really want to block either of these because they come back super easily. If he doesn't attack with... Right, I guess that none of them can block,
Yeah.
so he should just always attack. Right, block Feeder.
Okay, you take 4, go to 13.
Hand.
Ugh.
13, you said?
Yeah.
I'm at 17, down to 13.
You have me at 11.
Yep. You better play a blocker.
I have a blocker I can play, but it doesn't do anything. I should probably have a Vengevine in my deck just to tutor with this card. Not that that would do anything. I think I'm dead because I can't produce a blocker and get to like loot and fetch. I needed 1 more life point. I guess if I had not blocked here, but then it'd be a card different.
You didn't block, you'd be at 8 with one blocker, and you'd kind of be in the same position.
Yeah, but then I'd be able to play this and fetch. I go to 7, block 2 things, go to 2, and have 1 turn.
Sure.
But I didn't know that I was drunk Flamekin Harbinger. Yeah, I'm just dead.
I didn't even show you the land. I have it.
Sure.
I didn't show it to you.
Yeah,
In the Urborg, and I get the cast Leyline.
the needle on Carrion Feeder was pretty big there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna trim a Bloodghast for at least 1 Vengevine so I can tutor for 1.
What you got for me, Rob?
Got to get some more questions from the chat.
Oh man. Oh, then just tell me what they're talking about. You don't. It doesn't. You know. Are they like, holy crap, this Eldrazi deck? Or are they like?
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean, it's been
lol,
like,
Hogak?
geez, the Eldrazi deck, but also just all about Hogak and what they're gonna do, and if they would ban Alter because they just printed in the format, or if they ban like Bridge.
If they banned Alter, it would make me very happy, because it tells me that they are smart and care. Because something like Altar of Dementia is so fundamentally busted in that deck specifically. And if they have to ban either Hogak or Altar. You know, I guess they can ban Bridge from Below if they want to try to keep the deck intact, but I don't know. Bridge has not really been a problem out of any of the decks until these new cards, so.
When Todd initially suggested this theme for today's show, he suggested Pod as the 3rd deck. I would have obliterated a Birthing Pod deck. You just cast Birthing Pod on turn 2 and then die.
Yeah.
You can go off for infinite life and then die.
Yeah. That's a lull.
It would have just been comical.
That is a lull.
This is a weird hand, but it's a good one, so I'm sneaking it.
For no Eldrazi lands, turn 2 Chalice on the draw. I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's a shipper.
And no ley line. We're gonna.
You got any serum powders in that one?
Nah, this is just almost straight for card LSV's list.
Those listed in that powder?
No.
Couldn't remember. It's been a while.
Powder was like a relatively new thing for the versions playing the 3-mana 3/3 that can be cast
Eternal
from exile.
Scourge.
Yeah.
And this Pro Tour was 3 years ago now. A little over that, 3.5.
Yikes.
It was right when I moved to Roanoke.
Pro Oath of the Gatewatch, right?
Yeah.
Yes. That was the first time I bought almost every staple from a set, but I just went up to the dealer booth that weekend and just bought 4 Mimic, 4 Reality Smasher, 4 Thought-Knot Seer. I just bought everything. 4 Chandra. There's so many good cards in the set. All right. My hand is keepable. Scry. We need another mana, and I kind of want some piece of interaction, like this Leyline of the Void. That's right here.
Good?
Yeah. If it's doing it again, I'm gonna be mad.
So I'm going to get Blood Crypt, go to 17.
Hey, you still won that game, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It's because Ross kept a bad one.
No, my hand was pretty good.
No, he kept a good one. It did the fair graveyard stuff instead of the degen graveyard stuff. You never find a bridge.
Yeah, I didn't find a Bridge or a Hogak, which is what I needed.
Yeah.
But my opening hand was 3 lands, Carrion Feeder, Gravecrawler, Neonate, Looting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see the 3 I hit. That's not bad.
Yeah, Hogak Bloodghast.
You're up.
Concerned if you get a little lucky, you can just Hogak with Bloodghast. Worst possible. All right, Altar of Dementia, your turn. Kind of want to name Bloodstained Mire. I think that might just get him. Real quick, can I pause for a second and think about this?
Sure.
You've already gone through 1. Deck has what? What's the other one? Marsh Flats? But you probably just have another Bloodstained Mire. So you led with that. You have 1 land. I'm just going to get you. I'm going to name Bloodstained Mire. Tilt. I named Altar.
Sure, yeah, you should name Altar. Don't try to get me. I'm at 15. Attack you for 1.
19.
You can go.
I'm trying to get too damn cute. Ayavugan. Mimic, Reshaper, go. I had the eye. I drew the Reshaper. That was nice. I wanted to get this down, the needle down. You don't have to play this since I named this.
Oh, no, I wanted to. So
Okay,
sure.
sure.
So I'm going to stack the triggers so that the destroy artifact happens first. Then with the evoke sacrifice, I'll sacrifice the altar, sacrifice Ingature to altar, mill 3.
Interesting.
Sacrifice Bloodghast, mill 2, get a zombie.
Pretty sure I'm dead. Just getting combo killed here on the turn.
Sacrifice Supplier, mill
3.
a total of 4, get a zombie. I have cast 1 creature so far.
Yep. So you can cast the Gravecrawler if you want, and the Hogak, and you could bring it back to Bloodghast with the land. I'd probably just cast Hogak here first, and then mill 8 to try to hit another bridge before you do all the other stuff.
I think I'm going to cast this first to get the Vengevine.
Well, what does that matter? Vengevine just gets it back anyway, except you don't tap mana.
Well, that's the only thing I'm going to be committing mana to.
Sure. It doesn't matter. It's all you literally just see the same amount of cards or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Then we can tap these, play the Hogak. Then we can sacrifice the Gravecrawler, get a zombie, mill 2. Sacrifice the Hogak, get a zombie, mill 8.
find another bridge.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
the second bridge. Now we're
The second bridge is always the lock. So
yeah.
It just,
Now we're off to the races.
and I don't have. This isn't like Eldrazi Tron where I can play like one Ulamog and then get super lucky by having like an Ugin or a Ratchet Bomb or something.
Yep.
So I'm just getting decked. If you're just tuning in, which, man, you're late. We've been here a while. We have faced Hogak against 3 of the modern ban list's most busted cards, or the most loved, controversial
Yeah.
cards.
2 of the most controversial, and then I don't think this
Probably
was
the-
very controversial.
Probably the most degenerate card in Eye of Ugin. I mean, they
Yeah.
generated 4 mana on turn 2, and I did, I still lost, but there's a lot of mana generated for basically 0 cost.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just Mishra's Workshop.
yeah. The Hogak deck has 3/1 Stoneforge Mystic.
4 Splinter Twin,
Four
and is now
Splinter-
1/3 in this matchup.
Yeah.
The Eldrazi are quite good.
Man, this hand is like borderline playable, but it just doesn't have any hate cards, and it didn't have a 2-mana land.
Really bad at drawing Leyline of the Void.
I know. There was one on top of my deck just then.
You've been really good at that.
Yeah. What's up, Rob? How you doing over there?
So, away from modern for a bit,
All right, let's go.
how do you feel about the Scrylands coming back into standard and them working alongside the shock checkland mana base we have for a while?
Thanks, I hate it.
Why?
I hate temples so much.
Okay.
I just want my lands to enter the battlefield untapped. You know, the worst feeling in the world is you're a little bit mana light, you can miss your 4th land drop, and then you draw a temple. I hate it.
You know what I hate more?
It also makes it very difficult to play multicolored aggressive decks.
That's true.
Basically, every aggro deck during the time the temples existed was 1 color.
Right, but we've literally had a year of like Shocklands or whatever only, or fast mana. Going to 5.
My hand is great, but has no answer to Chalice or Leyline.
Duly noted.
But you just can't mulligan this
I
hand.
don't know why I can't draw
Like
a line in my
I have
hand.
Looting Neonate to dig for an answer to a Leyline like
3 post-board games. I've mulliganed
4 times.
every 5 times. This is the 5th. Or 4 times, you're right. I guess I kept a 6er on game 3.
We're only getting the enemy paired temples, right?
So far.
That's what they.
I think the set after that's going to be Theros.
And yeah, they'll complete the set then.
Yeah, the other 5.
Well, I believe it's been confirmed that the fall set is a new plane, according to Maro's blog.
Okay.
Sure. All right. I'll keep this scry. We
Leyline.
just need a land. I'm going to leyline you.
Yep.
Your turn. Or
Yeah.
your turn.
I will go to 18 and play Insolent Neonate.
Chalice of the Void. Your turn. I got it. 19. Or, yeah, 19.
You're up.
Spellskite. I have the pieces assembled. I
Yeah.
have thoroughly protected myself, and now all I need is pressure.
Yeah, these
or 5 more lands.
Those 3 cards and 2 lands are the 5 pieces of Exodia.
Bringing out the Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Yamu!
Well, I'm also currently behind in the race because I've dealt myself 3 damage, and Todd has a Blink Moth Nexus. So we need a Bloodcast at the very least. Deck,
Yeah, I can't block because it has Menace 18.
you're up.
So I have Pithing Needle, and I can just name Altar of Dementia, because this has Lockdown, Carrion Feeder. Evoke. Pithing Needle can't name the Evoke ability, right? Or can it?
No, it's an alternate cast cost.
That's what I thought. Just making sure. Because I know it can name cards that cycle, because cycling
Yes.
is not casting it.
That is an activated ability.
All right. I will kind of want to activate Nexus and double block that stupid Insolent Neonate. But I kind of need my mana, so whatever. Pithing Needle. I'll name Altar of Dementia. Oh, yeah, never mind.
Trigger.
Here we go. Here we go. Should have attacked for 1. I was just too caught up in my own Pithing Needle.
You're up.
That's a good one. Play a 4/4. Trigger. So all 1s and a Hogak, so we'll take Hogak. Here we go. These are all exiled, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Probably
Yeah, I
should've
don't know
just
why I
cast
thought-
Bloodghast earlier, but you know.
Yeah, I forgot. I was...
Oh, we both did the thing. That's
Yeah.
Fine. Oh, you're gonna Ingature. Which one are you targeting?
That one.
All right, I'll redirect.
So you're at 15. Let's pretend I left this one.
No, I'm gonna take it.
Sure. Then I have
Should've
hope.
cast it. I don't know, man.
You're
All
up.
right, whatever.
That's how it works.
Make a 4/4 and tag for 4.
I'm at 13.
Here we go.
I am dead.
Okay. Time for one more. Do you want to
Fun.
play one more? Or do you want to spend 10 minutes talking?
No, we're done with this. This was
This was a fun day, fun experiment.
it was
No match was particularly close.
that last one is just like
I mowed the 5 and
Yeah.
destroyed you. But I did have 2 of my best hate cards. But you know.
yes. Leyline into Chalice into Spellskite.
Yeah, not bad.
That's a one nice 1, 2, 3. Easy
All right.
as ABC.
Are there any cards that you specifically want to talk about that are on the ban list that you think might could come back? Or do you want to talk specifically about the Hogak deck? Or do you want to talk about something else completely?
I want to talk about Mike Conley being traded to the Utah Jazz, but I don't know if anyone wants to hear about that.
There's probably like, was the Utah Jazz guy who's always like, hey, Ross mold 0, and if you win,
Yeah.
I'll buy you Jazz
Viper.
tickets?
Yeah, he was here earlier.
Okay.
Or they were here earlier.
But the Hogak deck is obviously like at a power level that is comparable to banned cards, and I expect we will see things be banned because even Tuesday, where you won the matches that we played, you won the matches almost solely based off of having a giant pile of graveyard hate in your side.
Yeah.
Every deck that you played had 6 or 7, and that is just not acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. You know, people always talk about cards on the ban list like Summer Bloom or Cloud Post, things that generate a bunch of big mana and like they were banned because they were too powerful and they were a little hard to interact with. But nowadays we have like Alpine Moon, Blood Moon, Spreading Seas, Boom Bust if you want. Like if those cards existed and they were the best decks in the format, everyone could play like 10 anti-land cards in their sideboard if they wanted to, and they would be very effective. But forcing everyone to do that in order to interact with those decks is not healthy or fun, and it puts just undue pressure on every other deck in order for this deck to just exist.
Yes. And that's just to contain it. That's
Yeah.
not even to suppress it and have people stop playing it.
Yeah,
That's
people
to
are already
make it.
playing 6, 7, 8 graveyard hate cards and still just winning all the tournaments.
Yeah, that's to make it not 80% of the every top 8.
Yeah.
And instead, it's just 3 out of every top 8, the 38% or whatever. It is it's going to be
A bad couple weeks.
yeah. We have a ban announcement coming with Core Set 2020 though, right? Don't they do it after every set?
Yeah, but I have some problems because this might be added emergency banning, but I was under the impression that they were waiting for the London Mulligan to go into effect in Core Set 2020, so that they could preemptively ban some cards that they thought were too good with the London Mulligan. Otherwise, I feel like they should have just immediately done it after the last Mythic Championship because everyone loved it. At the Mythic Championship, everyone was very happy to do it and limited, and it wasn't that bad in Modern, and it wasn't like Tron was the entire top 8 or Dredge was the entire top 8 of the tournament. In fact, Humans won. Humans was one of the better decks with the London Mulligan, which I think is a resounding success. And so it's weird to me because I think that they might already have a set ban list in mind for 2020, and that could change by a card or two, and it better.
Yeah, could change by an Altar of Dementia or 2.
Oh, man. Yeah, Philadelphia is going to be fun. You better convince your 2 teammates to just play 3 Altar of Dementia decks, because if they don't,
Believe me,
they're fired.
I'm trying. We had a meeting last night, and
Why don't you tag me in if they don't want, to? You can tag me in for old Jim D. Jim D wants to play Tron when he's getting combo killed on turn 2 on the draw with his Relic of Progenitus play.
they're not playing Tron. That's already there. We got that far at least.
Oh, God.
But let's just play this Hogak deck because it's busted. Did not get received as warmly as I would have liked.
Have they played against it at all?
We'll see.
Have they watched Versus Live at all?
I've spent the last 7 months trying to convince them all to play Izzet Phoenix, and that never happened. And I like, how many tournaments did I have to win to convince them to play it?
Well, you didn't win 2, so you just won. One more would have been good enough, probably.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, you did win the 1.
Yeah, we like top 8 of the team open. My deck was great. I won the individual open. Then I top 4 the next individual open, and then we 12-3 to team open, or 11-4 to getting 9th on breakers, or I 12-3'd playing against nothing but matchups that were supposed to be bad.
Yeah.
And then I got Jim to play it in a single classic, and he X2'd and said, "Yeah, this deck's really good," and then never played it again.
Yeah.
I just
Look,
forced me to play standard.
Stop teaming with old men.
I'm an old man.
You are
I
younger
can't
than
not
both
team
of
with
them.
myself. That's true. In
Look,
number,
at
not
the
in
very
spirit.
least, when okay, all I know is my experience with you. I don't know about your experience with them. But when I say, "Hey Ross, your Blanche deck's pretty good," and you're just like, "I'll give it a try," and if you try it, and it usually is good because I'm very smart, you end up loving it and doing well with it. So all I ask is, Jim and Tannen, if you're listening, play the deck some. Just play a league. Play one league. One league on Magic Online with it. Use Man Traders. Borrow some cards or whatever. Come on.
It's messed up.
Anyway, Green Sun Zenith?
Good Magic card.
Think it's too good? What if we ban Dryad Arbor specifically, bring back Green Sun Zenith?
I would like to see that. I think Dryad Arbor is just an obnoxious Magic card.
I would like it just because it would allow fair green decks to exist and be able to go get Gaddock Teague to kind of hammer some of the unfair decks that go like big with Rituals or what have you. It's not even that good, but it's pretty good.
It's okay.
All right. This is going to be quick hits. I want to do quick hits. We do quick
Okay.
hits? Quick hits? Okay. So, verdict. Let's say we ban Dryad Arbor. Yes, no.
Sure.
Okay. Birthing Pod, everything stays the same. Sorry. Maybe Altar's banned. I don't know. Whatever. Birthing Pod.
I think Pod would be fine. I think Pod would have a pretty bad matchup against Izzet Phoenix.
I do too. I think it'd be a clown. I mean,
Yeah.
you could go infinite or whatever, but you have to set a number. And Aria Flame works in I mean, you get 2 Arias of Flame. You got to name a pretty high number by the time you get through the whole deck.
I don't know
It's not
about that.
exponential. It's what's the
No, it's linear with Aria. Flame.
linear progression. All right, Rob, what do you think?
Oh no, it's quadratic because you keep adding
Yeah,
the total damage should be quadratic.
sure, smart guy.
As far as pod?
Yeah, what do you think about pod? You ever played pod with against?
No. I started right when
I remember when
like
Valkyrie.
right before pod got
No, it's
banned, and I
linear.
got 6 siege rhinos played against me.
Nice.
So, I mean, I think it
You
would be
don't-
fine, but I also understand the argument that it would limit
I don't know how
future
much
design
about this.
space. But I don't know how much people
It's
really
not
care about that.
Sure. Just thought.
So
no,
I would say no personally.
get off of that.
It's quadratic.
All right. Last but not least, or not last but not least. I don't know. We can just keep doing this forever.
Yeah, Pod is an interesting one because it's another deck that I played a lot of, and it's very, very good against interactive decks. And back when it was doing well, there was Twin and Jund were both really popular. Those matchups were quite good for you. Twin was close, but Jund was quite good. There are a Kolaghan's Command and a Braid certainly help out a lot. Again, we didn't have cards like that. And that's the specific kind of card that is easy to slot in that will kill Pod. And people were bringing in Ancient Grudge against you.
Yeah.
You know, and not having to do that and being able to have a card that functions when they do their other stuff is really helpful. The format is a little bit more refined now than it was back in the day. I think some of the talk about different decks that existed in like 2013, 2014 sort of misses that point. You know, for a long time, Modern just wasn't played a lot as a format. When it wasn't supported as much on the SCG Tour. For a couple of years when we were the Open Series, we were Standard and Legacy, and then we incorporated a little bit of Modern, and it took us a while to really move a lot to Modern.
I think the
GPs.
breaking point was the 3,500 person Grand Prix in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
Featuring Modern. That was the breaking point where Snapcaster Mage jumped to like $50.
Yeah.
That was the breaking point.
And so those older formats, as a result, just weren't as refined. Like people didn't have the reps with them. We sort of stuck with the decks that we knew. That's one of the reasons that some of the older decks that led to bans even
Wild Mikado got banned, remember?
Yeah, Wild Mikado got banned because like, pros just kept playing Wild Mikado decks at their 2 Modern tournaments.
They banned Wild
Watsy sort of overreacted. Yeah, a card that is now basically unplayable, and I don't think yeah.
Wild Mikado got banned.
But Pod, like, outside of when it casts a turn 2 Pod, it's not really doing anything like that absurd. It's like playing some Kitchen Finks.
Yeah, the plan B was never like the powerful part,
Yeah.
but it was always the part that lets you still win games when your deck wasn't functioning or when your opponent was being hyper interactive.
Yeah, like humans is pretty fast against it. Kitchen Finks isn't what it used to be. Creatures are being a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean if they just like Reflector Mage your 2-drop or like your Voice Resurgence or your Kitchen Finks or whatever, and then hit you for 10, you know, you're under some serious pressure, and you can't even recast the Kitchen Finks even if you have Birthing Pod in play or whatever, you know.
That said, before that Pro Tour, our team had started testing before they announced the changes to the ban list, and Pod got banned at the same time as Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time.
Okay.
And so we had been playing Pod decks against Cruise decks, and the Pod decks we got rid of all the combo because the Cruise decks had a lot of cheap interaction.
Yeah, it was just mono Siege Rhino.
Yeah,
right?
we were just podding for Siege Rhino over and over again.
Well, yeah, and that's a
I beat like 3 Treasure Cruises resolving in the same game just because Siege Rhino is so big.
yeah. I mean, if you put 2 fair decks against each other, and I'll say Treasure Cruise has a fair deck with an asterisk next to it because drawing 3 cards is ridiculous for 1 mana. But Birthing Pod shines when people are playing like draw card, kill creature magic.
Yeah.
That's when you really start to really hammer your opponent because Birthing Pod generates virtual card advantage. You sacrifice your Voice Resurgence, you sacrifice your Kitchen Finks, make a Siege Rhino, you know, keep draining your opponent. And the Izzet decks have no way to recoup life. And if you like Orzhov Pontiff away the Young Pyromancer tokens and Pyromancer or whatever, you know, like you can win those really long grindy games. And that's why Birthing Pod was on the hit list for the bans because honestly, it was pretty disgusting when people weren't being really degenerate and linear.
Yeah.
It was good when they were being interactive.
And I don't think Modern really wants or needs a check on those decks. So why
Agreed.
would we unban Pod even if it's not as powerful now?
I personally really like playing with Splinter Twin against Pod. That was one of the more
Yeah.
fun back and forths, and it depended a lot on how each player approach the matchup, but that's neither here nor there. Both decks are banned. Last but not least, we'll do one more quick hit. Let's go over the ban list real quick because I can't even think of another one.
Is the
even
chat
close.
clamoring for anything, Rob? I'm
I
sure
don't
they're
know.
talking about
Oh, yeah,
this now that we are.
Punishing Fire, we've had people mention it a
No.
few times. Okay.
That card, the play patterns of that card are just so egregiously annoying.
Yeah, just like it was out of Jitte. It's just really, really ridiculously annoying.
Cheetah is different. Punishing Fire is...
How are you so on board with the Jitte and like the opportunity cost argument for Splinter Twin and Stoneforge Mystic, and you're just like, it only has fit 6 decks or only 6 cards in the deck, and literally the requirement for putting Umzao Jitte in your deck is you need 8 creatures.
Yeah, but it's not a card that like it only wins the matchup, wins certain matchups. It's like only good against creature decks.
Stoneforge Mystic is literally only good against creature decks.
No, it's good because it's a cheap threat in your mid-range mirrors and your control mirrors, and even against combo decks. Like it's the cheap threat that can actually pressure them without you committing a lot of mana. It's not as good as a card like Bitter Blossom in those matchups, but it's still good, and it's also excellent against aggressive decks. Again, like no weaknesses.
Sure.
That's
Okay.
the point I brought up earlier.
Okay.
It's just never bad.
Okay, last but not least, actual. We talked about Jitte, Colorless Artifact. Is Skull Clamp even good? Is Skull Clamp the card that ruined an entire standard format and got literally half the player base to quit because it was so annoying? Is Skull Clamp even good in Modern?
I don't know. I just haven't played with the card in so long, and it like
I can't think of like a way to generate enough mana to make it good. Oh, Urza. Never mind.
oh yeah.
Psy, Urza, Skull Clamp, make a mana, kill it, draw 2, play 0 mana artifact, make a 1/1, tap it for blue, draw 2. Yeah, something like that. It's
But
probably,
like Psy, Urza, and a ton of other things also goes infinite.
yeah.
So I'm not even sure if that's like the,
No, but Psy Clamp also is just like a crazy draw engine.
yeah, and Clamp is just like a 1-mana artifact for your artifact deck.
Yeah.
But doesn't make, I'm still not sold at that because like you're still vulnerable to Stony Silence. Like Clamp was insane in Standard because it made like Azorius Control horrible.
Yeah.
Like that fall, Azorius Control was a tier 1 deck, and that winter it was unplayable.
Yeah. Just the went from going from Mirrodin to Darksteel and just completely invalidating a lot of archetypes.
Yeah.
And it was also printed at the same time as Arcbound Ravager, and Ravager plus any artifact creature and a Clamp lets you do some really disgusting stuff with Disciple of the Vault. And it was really good in Goblins too, because all the Goblins had 1 toughness, and a lot of them had these like it was fine if they died, basically.
You had Sharpshooter,
Yeah.
Siege Ring Commander made a bunch of 1/1s, but you're missing the sweetest Skull Clamp deck.
The Elf deck, right?
Yeah, Elfinail.
Elfin Nail.
Had Wirewood Herald.
Yeah, every elf
Mana
you play, you get a
creatures,
1/1.
Wood Elves. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like turn 1 Clamp, turn 2 Wirewood Herald, turn 3 Wood Elves, get a Forest, Clamp my Herald, find another Wood Elves. Next turn, do it again. Vernal Bloom you, Tooth and Nail you.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Yeah, Skull Clamp was not fair. But I honestly don't. I mean, it would probably see some play. I don't know if it would be nearly as impressive as it once was. But, it's another one of those, like, Pandora's box. Like, why would,
It's
just
not
leave it
doing
alone.
anything good.
It's like, do you believe in ghosts? Not really, no. But if someone said, hey, go into that house that's very clearly haunted and sleep for the night, I'm not going to do it. Why would I test it? Why, come on.
Clearly, they're giving you something for going into the spooky house. So it depends upon what the reward is. Todd.
Does it?
Yeah, if you're properly...
Have you not seen any scary movie?
I'm not a big horror
It's
movie guy.
always bad. It always ends up bad.
Yeah.
No one ever gets the $1 million.
No
All right.
one ever gets the $1 million.
We got some subs, Rob.
Yes, we do.
All right, let's do some subs, man. I'm about to go get me a sub. Eat fresh. Not going
All
to
right.
Subway.
We use so many copyrighted and trademark terms on this show.
Icon, 5 months. Panza for 5 months. They say unban dig through time. That isn't happening.
Remember when Jeff Hoagland said that
They just
should
reprinted Dig Through Time. Just put Narset in your deck.
Remember when Jeff Hoagland said they should unban Dick Through Time on Twitter and he was serious? Next.
Die Harlequin subscribed.
Thank you.
Thanatos.
How many months? I've heard Thanatos a couple times, I think.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't reading. That's 4 months in a row.
Thank you.
for that. Nico 1929 for 5 months. And that's about it for today.
All right. Well, we had a really fun day. The Hogak deck really clowned some classic boogeymen of Modern. Splinter Twin, namely, got obliterated. Stoneforge Mystic also got kind of crunched. We won one game, and it was one that I had to get pretty lucky in. This Hogak deck scared me. I'm not going to lie. Next couple weeks seem like they're going to be pretty bad.
It's going to be a lot of Faithless Siblings.
A lot of faith. There was already a bunch. Now there's even more.
How many in the top 8 of Pittsburgh?
The Hogak decks, or
Yeah, Hogak deck.
specifically?
Well, there's 24 people
decks.
in this top 8.
Yep.
I think there's at least 8. I think every team will have at least one Hogak player, and I think that there's a chance that multiple have 2 or 3. So,
Yeah, I think you're looking somewhere in the teens.
yeah, the only thing that will be an oppressive factor of that deck not making a huge amount of top 8s this coming weekend is whether or not people can find enough Altar of Dementia and Hogak. I think that's it. So, all right, well, we're going to wrap it up today. Thanks to Carnox Chairs. Thanks to StarCityGames.com. Thank you, Ross, for hanging out with me today and doing this cool experiment that I want to do.
You know, they pay me for this, right?
I didn't, actually. I just thought you were showing up because we were friends.
I get paid.
Well, you got the marbles, too. I thought you got paid in marbles.
Partially.
Okay. Thanks to Rob for keeping the show together. Thanks to all the subs, old and new, and everyone for being here. We actually had kind of a blowout day today as far as viewership is concerned. So really huge shout out to everybody for hanging out and coming to have some fun with us. Next week, we're going to go full on prep mode for SCG Pit, and probably going to be not necessarily Hogak. I don't think we're going to do like another Hogak gauntlet, but we're probably going to have Hogak both days one time. We're going to go full hard mode with Modern and see if anything can really stick to the wall that we throw at it. That's about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for everybody, Ross, for Rob, and everyone here at Star City Games, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.